might just be the world I'm living in, but it's like every single person I come into contact with these days is doing robotic buildings.
People itself move through the whole building, and the objects and functions also can move through the building, how you use them.
So that the surfaces are volumetric as well to host.
It's like a car.
Yeah, it's like
It has an interior.
I mean, who says what is robotics? Maybe it's the robotics of the future.
So what is the robotics of the future according to your project?
The robotics of the future in my project. Maybe it's the multiplication of the parts that still hold logic, that holds them together, and this logic is embedded in the movement itself. So maybe today we have robots with 100 parts because we are only able to control a certain amount of pieces, and maybe in the future, like maybe in my project, we have millions of parts that have a certain logic to them that holds them, ties them together to one performative aspect.
Robots are in the air. Japanese vinyl robot culture, vinyl toys, all that stuff. Everybody was also supposed to be absorbing. So at the beginning of the studio, we did a kind of survey of robots as cultural aesthetic things, and we also did a survey of robots as motion typologies. The real challenge was a new kind of spectacle. Like take Las Vegas as an example. If you had the spectacle of billboard architecture and the integration of digital signage and graphics onto buildings, I would say that I'm not making a hypothesis, but just stating a fact that the next architectural spectacle is motion. And that integrating movement into architecture is what Las Vegas is now all about. Architecture is looking at motion as a way of generating spectacle. So the other reason about this thing was making the motion into something watchable and making the transformation not something which was functional but actually played some kind of role as performance. We gave the students a proposal which involved doing transformable moving architecture for a music festival.
What I'm doing is actually taking a fashion aesthetics into a giant robot building.
Especially I was interested in the design of the Tomo robot, which is a robot which shows a perfect rigid shell system, how the rigid shells are connected and that every shell is unique and how they fit together. My robot is really giant and it's like a big machine where everything is moving inside. So there are the big rigid shells which are more like stranded on the beach and stay and don't move, and the things which are animating the whole building are inside.
Yeah, our
robot.
main reference was the robot from Chris Cunningham, and from the Bjork video. Yeah, we keep this aesthetics, this white hard shells and black inner skeleton and mechanism. Simple robotics like opening, and they allow us to extend the volume of this whole object. So the first motion is like opening of the model in different positions. Yeah. And then the parts of it will go around into the festival area.
So if you see this as the bag that's standing on the beach during the year in its closed state, during the festival along those tracks, the different several units move out.
Thousands of parts that are all related to each other, and in general they have like an overall behavior in terms of the movement. Something like this, like the difference between each of the parts is just a very small shift, but if you add that up to 1,000 parts, you get a very aesthetic, gentle movement. And also to this movement, lighting effects are added. That means that the behavior of the light, the movement of the light, somehow amplifies the movement of the geometry itself.
It's a great pleasure to have all of you here today.
So it's like a big carpet with small circles, and through a telescopic arm that is integrated in them, they can change height and angle. I was really inspired by these plant robots that are like integrated in the nature and imitating it in funny, like plastic toy-like way.
It's just to do this kind of work, it's a very fine line between sounding like you're a lunatic and sounding like you're on the cutting edge of architecture. It's a fine line. But I think that the world is much more ready for this stuff than the architects are ready to deliver it, honestly.
Thank you.